But dating apps aren't real life, as we've seen. Dating apps are only kind of a bridge into the broader dating sphere that we see now. And I want to talk now about men and women separately. That was kind of men and women combined. I want to kind of divert it and split, and then I want to come back together at the end. So I want to talk about men first, because a lot of men right now, in my life especially, I've seen a lot of, and actually, by the way, I shouldn't even say that. I have a lot of guys who have been successful in the dating market recently. Like half of my closest friends in Austin are married at this point, or in a serious romantic relationship, which is awesome. And so, but a lot of men who I see and I talk with, more on an acquaintance level, or just hey, I'll see you at church or whatever, they're really struggling when it comes to finding dates and finding women to like them. And so I want to get into why this is happening and why I believe that men are struggling. So men, as mentioned, have been displaced in overwhelming numbers by apps and other cultural factors. We talked about this in last week's episode about the masculinity crisis and why is it happening and what's going on and all those things. And so the culture has not been a favorable one to men over the last couple of years, over the last lot of years. And it's turning now, like I mentioned. I think it's getting better, which is a good thing. But in terms of the dating market, this has been, I think, one of the most evident areas where this problem of men not doing well has really metastasized. And I want to talk about that now. So it is essentially due to this displacement of men in the dating market, it has led them to essentially just not know what to do when it comes to the dating market at all. Men don't know how to date now. And the modern masculinity narrative that has thrown men into chaos for the last decade, which again is thankfully clearing up now, has done a lot of damage to men. It's done a lot of damage to men because it's made them regress socially, it's made them regress culturally, it has made them less attractive to women, etc. And it's starting to clear up now, and we're starting to, I think, see an upswing here. I actually think women are going to go through a similar crisis in the next 10 years, and men are going to be on the upswing, just as kind of women were earlier on, but that's beside the point. But I think the main problem of men in the dating market today is really the same as for women, who we'll talk about in a second. And I think that problem is an external locus of control. If men struggle dating now, largely what I see, and this is anecdotal, and I've seen some data on this, but it's anecdotal from my sense as well, is they have a very victim-based mentality when it comes to dating. They outsource their success in the dating market to outside factors. The apps don't like me, women don't like me, it's too tough out there, it should be easier for me, etc., 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 etc. And so I want to say this before men fly off the handle, because I know I'll get some comments here. While it is an undeniable fact that men have had it hard in the dating market, in some ways harder than women, it is also true that men have used that as an excuse to remove all of their ownership from the equation. We have overcorrected. We have spotted a problem, which is a legitimate one, by saying that, hey, some things culturally with the apps, with women today, etc., that is a problem, and we should fix that problem. But what we have done is we have swung the pendulum way over and said, you know what? I don't have to do anything, and women should just like me for who I am. And that's an issue. That's a very big issue, because that is not a sustainable model at all for achieving what you want to achieve in the dating market. It's not. Men have blamed the culture and women and dating apps and everything that's external from them for far too long, which has led men to not put any onus and ownership on themselves to fix their own problems. We have turned ourselves as men into victims of a market, of the dating market. We have basically said, you know what, we have no control. We don't have any say in what happens to us. We, it's all everyone else's fault. I don't have to be self-aware. I don't have to do X, Y, Z. I don't have to do whatever. It's all someone else's fault. And I cannot think of a single narrative that is more destructive to a man than he not being in control of his own life. I cannot think of a single more destructive narrative than that. Because if a man believes that, then it's curtains, especially in the dating market. If he believes that way in the dating market, God knows he probably has the same issue in his fitness. His money's probably not right. His career probably isn't going the way it wants to. for men especially, this is very, very important to get right. For men, the ability to achieve success in the dating market is a major key to his self-worth. And you shouldn't find your self-worth in women or in dating. You should find, in my opinion, you should find your self-worth in Jesus or in something else if you're not a believer. But if you're a believer, find your worth in Jesus first and then find your worth in lesser things like a romantic relationship, for example. But a lot of men are driven by this. I have a joke that I say all the time that literally every single thing that men do to improve their lives is to impress women. So if men can't impress women, what does that say about the rest of their lives? It's probably not going great. So what this has led to, understandably, because of this victim mentality, it has led to a bitterness and a resentment from men in the dating market towards the culture and towards women. So they hate the world, they're bitter towards the world, and they hate, the world is out to get me. I can't get a job. It's capitalism's fault. It's the market's fault. It's women's fault. It's my mom's fault. It's my dad's fault. It's that whatever who dumped me last year. It's her fault, whatever. And it's also led to them particularly get angry at women in this regard. Oh, modern women today, they have all these problems. Why can't women just be like they were when my dad was dating or when my grandpa was dating? All of those narratives, they're very, very prevalent now, and it's very troubling to watch this, which this leads because men are now so dejected in so many ways. They are so fed up with kind of how this has gone for them that it has led them to largely check out of the dating market, of being in the game, of trying to be on a dating app, of trying to go on dates, of trying to ask women out in person, fun fact, etc., all of those things. So it's led them to not take action in the dating market itself, and instead they find people who are in that same bitter and resentful mindset, mostly online, and it leads them to get brainwashed by primarily incel communities, red pill content, etc., that has dragged them down this rabbit hole further. And that's a death spiral. I'll say that right now, that's a death spiral. There are hardly any men, if you get far enough down that rabbit hole, you can't climb out. Your brain chemistry literally will rewire itself. It literally will rewire itself. So this is it's a major problem. This is not good. So what men need to do in opposition to this narrative, in opposition to what is currently happening, and this death spiral that men are going down to in terms of romantic relationships, what men need to do is they need to step up. They need to step up to the plate, and they need to take back that locus of control and wrest it back inside of themselves. Because what this has become is a massive shirking of responsibility on the part of men. Men have said that I don't want the responsibility of becoming someone that women can be attracted to, and instead I'm going to blame everybody else. I'm going to take myself out of the equation, put myself in a position where I can be miserable with other miserable men, and then pot shot women and dating apps and the culture or hypergamy or whatever from a mile away and talk about it on Twitter or something, or a Reddit thread. And the hard reality for a lot of men is this: women do not find the majority of modern men attractive because the majority of modern men are not attractive. That is the cold, hard reality of it. Women do not find you attractive, most likely because you're not attractive. If everyone else is saying one thing and you're saying another thing, the data shows that that group is right and you're wrong. And it's not because of some psyop or whatever that's out of your control by like these puppet masters, these non-existent, the invisible they, as I like to call it, these non-existent puppet masters that are kind of dictating the dating market or whatever, like feeding all this stuff to women. We're going to talk about women in a second. But it's not because of some cultural psyop or master plan by some diabolical like henchman dude in the clouds or whatever. It's because of you. It's because of you that you're not attractive. It's because of you that women don't like you. It's your fault. But the good news is it's your responsibility also. So to combat this, what men need to do, instead of shirking responsibility and saying the control is not inside of my system, reel it back in. The control is in your system. It is in your control. It is your responsibility. And what is your responsibility to do? It's your responsibility to make yourself attractive. It is your responsibility as a man to become, for example, self-reliant, Get a job, start a company, do something to make money. Get off your ass and start working and doing something and becoming skilled so you can earn money and maybe get an apartment or buy a house or live with somebody or co-rent with somebody or whatever. Get in better shape. Join a gym. Start to get all the bad stuff out of your fridge and your pantry. Don't have anything in your pantry probably because all the stuff in your pantry is probably bad for you. It's got preservatives in it. Get it out of there. Eat better food. Stop going out and getting milkshakes every single night. I like milkshakes. Stop getting them every single night. You don't need them. Trust me. I was there for a long time. You don't need them. Trust me. Go work out. Lift heavy weights. Hit a punching bag. Get on a mat and roll jujitsu. Something. Communicate better. Talk to women. Talk to women. That's the best thing to do to kind of get better at this whole thing. Actually talk to women. Women are not as bad as men think that they are in these spaces. They're not. Women are nice for the most part. They're very nice people. They're not some kind of like demonic, fairy, like, not fairy, fury types that the Greeks believed or whatever. They're not Jezebel for the most part. Most women are nice, I think. Communicate better. Talk to women. Get a coach to learn how to talk to women if you need to. Talk to a friend who knows how to talk to women. Get better at communicating. Increase your worthiness to women by increasing your worth to yourself. When you become a leader in your own life, when you become someone who is worth being followed in your own life, you will attract people. Men and women will be attracted to you. Now, you're hitting on one side of the fence here if you're a guy, hopefully. And so you'll attract women. But you need to become the person that women are attracted to in order to attract women. It does not happen by itself. It does not happen by itself. So if you think that you can get away with not having responsibility for your own life and not saying that it's like, well, it's my responsibility to change, newsflash, you're wrong.